Hello students, welcome to CMIS online classes, and this video is for class 6 chapter number 9 living organisms and their surroundings, its habitats, its characteristics. Okay. So in our first part we talked about different types of habitats. Okay, so we will revise in this video and other factors related to this chapter. First of all, habitat, as we know, natural living places of an organism is called an habitat, and the organism depend on food, water, air, shelter, etc. in their habitat, respective habitat. So there are different kinds of habitats as we know. Then comes adaptations. What do you mean by adaptations? So it is a special feature in certain habitats that enable a plant or an animal, that means organism, to live in its surrounding. Okay, they have some specialized features which help them to adapt in certain conditions, because in our earth all places doesn't have the same climate, same environmental features, as well as other factors of abiotic components. So let's move forward. First of all, we have terrestrial habitat. As we know, terrestrial means land, and those animals or those organisms that live and depend on land are called terrestrial habitat. We have desert habitat, forest habitat, grassland habitat, and mountain habitats. Okay, so desert habitat, as we all know, desert are places where there is no rainfall or very little water. So to survive in such type of habitats, plants or animals, they require some special features. So we will take an example of plants as well as animals. Few examples are cactus, AFK, date palm for plants. Okay, so what are the adaptive features of desert plant? So leaves are absent or reduced or modified into spines. Why so? To reduce the water loss by transpiration. That means, because as we know, there is very little water, so transpiration loses water. So to reduce it, we have spines. Similarly, in forest, we have broad leaves. Why broad leaves? Because forest habitat are mostly of rainforest. That means waters are much more, rainfall occurs in a very huge amount. Okay, so to lose excess water, they have a broad leaves, they don't have spines. Similarly, we have other examples. Stem is green and does not photosynthesis. That means the stem, okay, as there is no leaves, so no photosynthesis, and this stem stores water and it is thick and fleshy, and these spines also help them to survive from other herbivorous animals. It is very difficult for the herbivore animals to consume cactus because of its spines. Next, we'll move towards root. That means the root are much more deeper in the soil, because deep in the soil in desert we find water, but not on the upper layer. Upper layer we have sand. So roots are deep, leaves are modified into spines, and water is mostly stored in the stems. Okay, then we will talk about another habitat of desert organism. Let's take an example of camel. Camel is the best example of desert habitat and how it can survive. So it also have some characteristics features, that means adaptive features. They have long legs. Okay, they have long legs that help them to prevent the heat of the sand. It stores food as fat in its hump. Okay, and it can store water in its body, and their skin are also developed in such condition that due to evaporation they lose very less water. Then we have another features like long eyelashes. Okay, that helps them from the waves, matlab sand dunes. Okay, because they need to walk in sand, and in sand the land is barren and wind blows very fast. So to prevent the sand to enter in the eyes, they have eyelashes. Okay, and hooves also. Their foot are well developed to travel in desert area. Okay, that's why camels are also called sheep of a desert. Okay, then we have other animals in desert, as for example snakes are there. Okay, mouse are there. Okay, and how do they survive? Because they have short legs, they survive by making burrows or by remaining inside the ground. Okay, during day they remain inside the ground, and during night only they will come out to hunt or to find their prey. Okay, so and this type of animals are called nocturnal animals. Now let's move towards mountain region. So mountain region plants have a peculiarities, that means they also have some features. As for example, the branches are sloping and sliding towards the ground, and this helps them not to remain the snow on the leaves. The snow or the water, they slide down in the sloping branches or leaves. Okay, then they have a needle shaped leaves which helps them to which helps water and snow to slide down, as already discussed. Okay, then we have certain animals. We talked about plants, now we will talk about animals. So we will take an example of snow leopard. Okay, so as we can see, snow leopards, they have excess or the skins are covered with fur that helps them to protect from cold waves in the mountain region. Okay, this is one of the most important feature in the mountainous animals. Even yaks also, they also have the fur, hair like fur. We will move towards root. That means the root are much more deeper in the soil, because deep in the soil in desert we find water, but not on the upper layer. Upper layer we have sand. So roots are deep, leaves are, as we discussed about yak, they have thick fur and long hair which helps them to protect from the cold wave of the mountain region. So this was all about mountain habitat. Now we will move towards grassland habitat. So let's have a look at the adaptive features of lion. So they have light brown color which helps them to hide in grassland. They have long claws that can be which can be withdrawn inside. Okay, both the eyes in front of the head gives correct idea about the location of the prey. That means they have a good hearing power. Then they have a needle shaped leaves which helps them to which helps water and snow to slide down, as already discussed. Then we will move to predator and prey, the word that I discussed a second ago. Okay, a predator eats the prey. That means those who hunt are called predators, and which is being hunted are called prey. Okay. The hunter is the predator, and the one who is hunted by the predator is the prey. So in most cases in grassland we find deer as a prey and lion and tiger as a predator. Okay, but both have an adaptive feature. It's not easy for a lion or tiger to hunt the deer, and it's not easy for deer also to escape from these predators. Okay, then we will move towards aquatic habitat. So aquatic habitat, as we know, means water habitat, those organisms which live in water. So let's see some adaptive features of aquatic animals. They have a streamlined body. That means the body are streamlined, pointed in the front so that they can reduce the friction of water. They have gills for respiration. Some animals like whales and dolphins, they don't have gills, but they use blow holes. So they use blowholes for respiration or for breathing. Okay. Then, as discussed, dolphins and whales have nostrils to breathe air from atmosphere. Okay, and that is called blowholes, and it is located at the above the head. Those blowholes are located above the head. So to breathe, they have to come to the surface of the water. Okay. Then we have ponds and lakes habitat. So in ponds and lakes, various water plants are or aquatic plants are there. As for example, lotus. Lotus is a good example of aquatic habitat. Okay, and they have some features also. As for example, we have some other examples also: salvina, water henge, pistia. Okay, duckweeds are there. So these all are the example of aquatic plants. And what helps them to survive in those water conditions? Okay, so they have those plants leaves are ribbon shaped. Okay, ribbon shape means very thin, and the roots are on deep in the ocean bodies. Okay, that means they touch the land inside the water. So we have some adaptive features. Let's see. Stem of lotus is hollow, long and light. Okay, leaves are disc shaped. That means like a dish. like a plate. Okay, leaves and flowers float on water. Leaves have waxy coat to prevent from water stagnations. That means with the help of water, water has a capability to decompose everything. As for example, if we throw something in water, due to water those body decomposes, सड़ जाती है. Okay, so this waxy coating prevents the leaves of aquatic plants from decomposing. Then we have ponds and lakes habitat. Some examples are hydrilla also. Hydrilla is also a good example of aquatic plant. Then now let's move towards some animals that are a habitat of water. That means aquatic habitat. So frogs can breathe in water and land. They are amphibians. They have webbed feet that helps them to swim. Okay, they have a strong back legs so that they can jump, and even they have sticky tongue to catch insects from far away. So these are the adaptive features of frog. Now let's move towards an important part, that is characteristics of living things. What are characteristics? So living things can be differentiated by various characteristics with non-living things. As for example, living things need air, water and food, but non-living things, they don't need this. Living things grow, non-living things, they don't grow. They can move on their own. Living things can move. Okay, movement, they shows movement or locomotion. They can respond. Okay, they can breathe or respire. They excrete, they reproduce, and they have a definite lifespan. Certain lifespan are there. Okay, that means living age. So let's discuss one by one the characteristics of living. So first of all living things need food. Food is the source of energy. Okay, so where do they get their food? They get the food from the habitat in which they are living, and with food only other activities are functioned. Number one. Second, living things grow. We can see in the figure, seeds grow from plants grow from a seed. Okay, that means first a small seedling appears, then it grows, and finally a plant is formed. Similarly in humans also, a baby is born, after that infant, then child, then teen or adolescence, then adult. Okay, then finally they will become old and they will die. So this concludes that living things grow, and it is an irreversible process and continuous process. It's not that after certain years they stops growing. No, they continue grow. Okay, then we have third characteristics, that is living things respire. So both plants and animals respire. During respiration, some oxygens or some gases are used and some are released. As for example, in humans. Okay, in humans or animals, during respiration oxygen is used and carbon dioxide is released, and that carbon dioxide is again used by plants to prepare food, and those plants, they release oxygen, again that is used by animals. Okay, so both are very much important to respire, and respiration is very important because it helps various metabolic activities inside our body. That means oxygenating the blood, okay, purifying blood, etc. Then we have living things response to stimuli. That means they respond. Okay, as for example, when you touch a hot object, what will happen? You respond. You will quickly pull your hand. In the same way, insects like cockroaches move away from light. Okay, and some insects they are attracted by light. So that is responsiveness. Okay, they respond to stimulus. There is a plant called mimosa plant. Okay, which when touched by other animals or even humans, those plants they respond. Okay, the leaves they move inside. Okay, so that is all about response to stimuli, but non-living things they don't respond at all. Then now let's move towards some animals that are a habitat of water, that means aquatic habitat. So frogs can breathe in water and land. They are amphibians. They have web feet that helps them to swim. Okay, they have a strong back legs so that they can jump, and even they have sticky tongue to catch. Will come to reproduction. So the process by which all living things give birth to the young ones is known as reproduction. Okay, so here there is a figure where doctor is checking a llama. It is a camel like animal found in Peru. Okay, so this is how reproduction occurs. So reproduction are of two types. Number one, some animals or some organisms they lay eggs, and from eggs the new one comes out. And some animals or many animals they give birth to young ones directly. Example, we have humans, cows, etc. We don't lay eggs. Even animals like cows, okay, goat, they don't give eggs. They give birth to the young ones directly. Even plants also they reproduce, and they reproduce by different body parts. That means by seed like mangoes, plums, tubers, potatoes, plant cutting. Example, rose. We can cut the stem of the rose and plant, okay, to produce a new one. Then we have all living thing excrete. That means they remove waste material from body. Okay, so plant excrete. How do plants excrete? So they take out carbon dioxide or oxygen depending on day and night. Means they excrete some gases. Okay, storing the waste product in fruits, leaves and barks. As for example, like gum, resins. Okay, we get gum from gum tree. Okay, and that is all stored waste material of a plant. And how do animals excrete? We excrete by urine, by feces, okay, and exhaling carbon dioxide. And that means taking out carbon dioxide from our body. Even sweating is also there. We excrete by sweating also. Okay. Some examples are hydrilla also. Hydrilla is also a good example of aquatic plant.